This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at the Matcha Theater for their presentation of Closer. Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with
James Paradise. I'm the director of the play Closer.
Question, why did you decide to do this play?
I decided to direct this play because it was challenging. I don't direct anything in theater that is not personally challenging to me. It doesn't have to be intense like this. The last play I directed was a romantic comedy between two elderly people that had opera on the stage. So that was the challenge for me to do. How do you do a romantic comedy and have opera in the same play, on the same stage? So if I see a script that it's challenging and the situation looks good, I go for it. Before I accept it, I read the script 3 times because it's a very intricate script and it's very difficult to pull off. You need actors that have really chops to do this. It took me 2 weeks to cast this, but we went ahead with it after reading it several times. I've never seen the play on Broadway, and I never saw the film, which is good because I had nothing to compare in my mind what had been previously done. I love the script. I think it's extremely well written and quite risque, but you know, it is 2016, so what we put up, people seem to appreciate.
Okay, your hardest job as a director is casting. And you mentioned that. What do you look for in your casting?
The first thing I do is, and I've taught directing on and off for many, many years at UCLA Extension, and I teach my directors to read a resume from the bottom up. I don't look at their TV or their film credits. I look at their training and their theater credits because that's where you learn the craft of acting. If I don't see a lot of those type of credits for a play like this, I won't bring them in because I don't think they have the theater craft, the chops to do it. They may have great camera technique, but camera technique is one thing, whether it's TV or film, but acting on stage is something else. And if I look at a resume and they're very short-listed of their training that I don't recognize, or they don't have a lot of theater credits, if I think they're physically right, I might bring them in, but that's really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for how much theater have they done, and who's trained them, where'd they go to college, what professional training have they had, you know, what kind of chops do I think they have before I actually see them in an audition.
You know, back in Shakespeare's time, a lot of the plays were sexually explicit, and that was just part of it. In modern theater, I really don't see that a lot. You do not have plays that are just sexually explicit. Maybe it's our time. So what do you think about that?
I think that you're probably right, and I think that live theater is a lot more inhibited than film or cable TV, where you can see all sorts of explicit sexuality. I just think that the live audiences, I just don't think that the playwrights that are around right now think that that type of sexuality is going to put enough people in the seats to make the play profitable. I think this is an exception. This was a hit on Broadway with name actors, and it won some awards. It didn't win a Tony, but it won, I think, the Drama Critics Circle or whatever it was. So I think they're few and far between because I think that live audiences are a little bit more, this is just off the top of my head. I could be totally wrong with this, but I think that live audiences in general are a little bit more inhibited sitting in a theater together viewing sexual explicit stuff than they are in their living room at home sitting with their family or their spouse or whatever. It's a whole different experience. I think that might be part of it. And also, whenever I hear that someone's a playwright, I'm always interested in seeing their work because I'm always interested in original work, and I always say, well, playwrights are a dying breed. I don't know how many of them are around. There's not, you know, it's a very exclusive club of people that can really write good theater. Screenplay writing, totally different animal. TV, the same.
Well, first of all, I want to tell my audience here, I don't want them to get the wrong idea. It wasn't pornographic or anything like that. It was actually probably PG-13. I don't even think it would have been R-rated. The only thing it would have given an R-rated is the language.
Yes, I think it's verbally sexually explicit, but there's no nudity, and there's no sex scenes besides 2 kisses in the entire play. But the language, which is what the playwright excels in, is what makes the play what it is. There's tremendous repartee, and if you can really follow what he's written in scene 1, certain lines are repeated by a different character to a different character in scene 2. All the characters are saying the same type of thing. It's very intricate, and I think he did a wonderful job.
Yeah. Well, my thoughts of it is basically I thought sexually they were all psychologically just messed up, all of them. But then again, I thought it was actually very realistic that this is the way life really is.
I do think that he nailed men's reactions to a woman's, their partner's infidelities. I think it can become emotionally very crippling and very sophomoric in a way, because the female characters in this play are always saying, what does it matter? It's only sex. Men do not have that view. Their egos cannot handle that. So it's a very good, I agree with you. I think it's a very good mirror of how men and women react to infidelity, to passion, etc. Yeah.
Okay. Once again, I'm giving it a positive review. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for your time, and thanmes for coming.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Randy Vasquez. I'm from San Diego. I grew up in North Carolina. I've been in LA since 1979. I came here to go to UCLA to start my career, and here I am 30-some years later, opening night.
Which character did you play?
Larry. He's into the truth, no matter what damage it can do. But, for all the, someone might see him as crude, frequents strip clubs. He spends time with whores. But when he's in a relationship, he really tries, I think there's some loyalty there. That's the great, kind of the opposite thing going on with him. That's the struggle with him. And when it's time to move on, he knows that that's what life is all about sometimes. You can't live in the past. No matter how, that's what I kind of admire about him, perhaps. The art of moving on in life from one relationship to another.
If some of my viewers decide to come by and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
Some nice dialogue, some intense scenes, a lot of comedy and drama. If you're into, for 2 hours, taking a trip to London with 30, 40-something set, you should come and see this. That's the fantasy, is in London, modern-day London. People in love, trying to make love work out and all that stuff. I think that's it.
You think it's appropriate for children?
No.
How about say someone older, a divorced older person?
Sure. Well, my mother's coming to see it. I warned her. I told her, Mom, I don't know if you want to see me say these things and behave this way, but she's coming next weekend. So I've been in the middle of it. It's hard to be. I don't know if I can be completely objective, but it's definitely adult material. Yeah, it's pretty rough language.
Right. Yeah, I thought it was actually kind of rough too. Going into it, I felt like I was being beaten up a little bit. You know what I mean? I felt some people, it might be over some people's head. Sexually, it might be over some people's head. I thought it was a bit risque and all that. But to give it an honest opinion, do I recommend they see this or not? I say that yes, they should see, just because so much developed into it. So much. Really? Yeah, you can see.
You tell me. I don't know.
You can see darkness. You can see. It's hard to see darkness in people. It's hard to see, messed up relationships. Like, if you would go to TV, you were to see a movie, it would be, come on, boy meets girl, boy loses girl. Boy meets girl, happy ending, that's all you see. You got to really see, if you really want to see relationships, there is have people get divorced, people abuse their wives, you see people get, people have affairs for a second or night or something like that. That's real life.
It's ugly.
It's ugly. People don't show the ugly parts of a relationship.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean?
This play does have that ugliness, and it shows it with some humor. I mean, the writer has written it that way. The writer was a former stand-up comedian, so there are elements of some really nice one-liners in it. But what you say is true. I mean, the history of this play, the story, the critics, some have been repelled by it, and some have loved it. Some have walked down. I mean, it's tough stuff, I think, from what I've read on the internet. Yeah. So,
Yeah, basically, I'm going to do all of that. And there was actually a time I was going to walk out in the middle because I thought it was slow going. I thought, this is too edgy because, again, there's going to be some lewd scenes. There's going to be a very explicit about sex and all that. And I was thinking, was there enough depth into it until at the end? Then they really started unfolding everyone's feelings, unfolding, things in which they're very worthy topics they've talked about. It's something you really should see, and that's what I thought about it.
I agree with that. Come and see it.
Okay. Once again, I thought you were a great actor. You were fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Take care.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Natalie Mitchell. I grew up in Northern California doing lots of theater and film. Actually, my first film was Jack with Robin Williams back in the day. A lot of Bay Area films featured out in the 90s. So I was a child actor, and then I went on to get my BFA at UCSB and my MFA from NYU. I played Anna. I relate a lot to Anna. She makes some bad choices, but I completely can justify all of them, obviously, since I play her. She is a woman who's a victim of romanticism. She really believes in the ideals of the world. She's an artist, she's a photographer, so she sees things through a lens rather than through her own eyes. And she's kind of an observer of life, and then she jumps in and actually takes chances with Dan and her relationship with him, even though it's being unfaithful to her current husband.
If some of my viewers decide to come out and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
Oh, they'd expect to see 2 hours of roaring laughter, turmoil, and angst, all wrapped into one tight piece. So I think that's the greatest thing about Closer, is that it's technically a comedy, but that's been derailed, and it really puts the mirror up to kind of our choices and our absurdity in our love relationships.
Do you think it's appropriate for children?
Definitely not. I think it's definitely 18 and over, if not NC-17.
Would it be appropriate for someone in their 30s?
Definitely. I think its 30s is the key spot. I mean, this also deals with halftime or middle age, of this idea of kind of having a midlife crisis. Are we doing what we're supposed to do with our life? Making big choices in order to kind of get out of the rut that we're in.
Well, first of all, I thought the acting was good, very good.
Thank you so much.
I thought the script was a little too edgy for some people, because there are people who has various degrees of conservative, various degrees of their sexuality may be slightly different.
Yeah.
So again, also I felt that in the play, I thought it started off a little slow.
Okay.
But afterwards, the second half really got intense, and I realized why it was slow, because if it was this intense from the beginning, I would have been floored by the end of it. And, I'd be just totally destroyed by the end. Yeah. So I see why it has to be a little slower, just to develop everything.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think that it is like life. It starts out building. You have to build the places so we know where these people are coming from before we kind of hit them with the truck. So I think that that's the intention, and it's also just the run of the show. As you put the puzzle pieces together, it starts to kind of build in your head.
Once again, I thought you did a very good job. So thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Hamish Sturgeon. I've been in LA for a couple of years. I'm from England originally. I worked a lot in England, in theatre and film and TV, and now I'm here doing this in Hollywood, which I'm really pleased about. I play Dan. Dan's a complicated guy, so he's somebody that you could perceive him as doing bad things. He's a good person, and he's caught up he's had a tragic kind of upbringing. He's been caught up in kind of different relationships with these two women that are, one is that he has a relationship with somebody who he sees his future with, and one is exciting and fresh, and there's that conflict with it. So he's complicated in that way, but he's also trying to be good and trying to do the right thing, that kind of thing.
If my viewers came by and saw this piece, what should they expect to see?
It's very edgy. We brought it up to date a little bit. It's in the 90s, the play. And it's fast, it's very funny, it's very dark humor. It's a great way to spend a couple hours.
Do you think this play is appropriate for children?
No. It's kind of not. I think it has adult content, and some of the things that we're talking about is very adult, so I would say probably not. It's kind of R-rated.
Would it be appropriate for someone, say, in their later ages, maybe in their 40s?
Absolutely, yeah, of course, yeah. No,
It wouldn't bring back memories of, say, their marriage, or maybe I should get a divorce, or maybe I should have an affair.
it might well do that, but yeah, it's a play for everybody and for different ages, and we're all different ages and representing different people at different ages. So that's what the play's about.
Okay, well, I'm giving it a positive review. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. Great, thanks.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with
Stephanie Noel Garrison. Well, I was born and raised in Orange County. Wanted to be an actor since preschool play, and went to school. And then as soon as I came back to SoCal, I wanted to just go head on into acting and just theater and some student films here and there, and just trying to slowly work my way up. I played Alice. I actually connect with her a lot. She's very, very emotional. I see her as a Pisces, hence the tattoos with all the fish imagery. She's animalistic. She only cares about where she's going to sleep, what she's going to eat, and who she's going to be with, much like an animal. And those are the only things that really matter to her. Truth, lying, playing around, like that, all that stuff is just sort of extraneous, but those are her true core beliefs are just those animalistic tendencies.
If my viewers decide to come by and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
I think they should expect to see a lot of dark humor, a lot of intense scenes, but intensely funny scenes. I think that they're going to laugh. I think they're going to cry. I think they're going to see something in each of the characters in themselves. I think they're gonna learn something about themselves by seeing our play.
Do you think this is appropriate for children?
No, absolutely not. No, I think it's a little too rated R for the kids.
How about for someone in their 20s? Do you recommend them seeing that?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm in my 20s, and I saw the movie and absolutely loved the script. I think once you start getting into romantic relationships, I think you can start to connect with the themes of the script. And obviously for my character, she's not one of the characters that gets married, but the others do. So I think that the young people will sort of connect with Alice's story, and the older people in the audience will connect with the older characters.
I thought the acting was very good. I thought the script was maybe just a little too edgy. Maybe some people, it might be not everyone's cup of tea, but otherwise I'm giving it a positive review. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
Closer will be playing at the Matcha Theater from September 30th to October 9th. For more information, go to www.closertheplay.com.